What would it feel like to be confronted with the raw truths of existence? Imagine if all of a sudden you could see the microscopic particles around you, hear all frequencies of sounds, and see even the infrared and ultraviolet light with your naked eyes. You feel the energy flowing through your body and recognize that it's the same that's flowing through the trees, the sky, and the oceans. You feel time stretching, bending, and contracting, and you realize that everything that you know of you is just an impermanent, tiny part of an interconnected whole. We get glimpses of these realizations during meditation, moments of grief, and moments of pure love. However, facing all of it at once would feel extremely overwhelming. And this overwhelming enormity of the universe is personified in the image of Goddess Kali, who is the goddess of all-powerful time, which destroys as well as heals. Krishna's Vishwarupa in the Bhagavad Gita captures this overwhelming enormity. When Krishna shows his universal form to Arjuna with countless faces creating and devouring worlds at the same time, Arjuna is completely shaken. He trembles and drops his bow and says that I cannot bear to see this. It's the same with us. When we see the fierce image of Goddess Kali, we tremble. Goddess Kali's story has evolved over centuries. In the ancient text, she often emerges whenever required, often during times of cosmic imbalance or extreme adversities. In the Puranas, she is described as this embodiment of Shakti. One of her earliest and the most famous appearance is in Devi Mahatmyam from Markandeya Purana, where she bursts out of Durga's forehead during a battle with the demon Raktabija. This demon was impossible to kill because every drop of his blood that touched the ground created more demons. So Kali had to drink his blood to defeat him and restore balance. But Kali isn't just about destruction. She is reimagined as Kundalini Shakti in Tantra, which resides at the base of our spine and rises up through our various chakras to meet Shiva, the pure consciousness, at the crown of our head in Sahasrara Chakra. Kali is closely associated with Sati, Shiva's wife, who stood against the injustice of her own father, as well as Sati's reincarnation, Parvati or Uma, who is a nurturing companion for Shiva. A poet describes how Parvati turns into Kali in order to match the intensity of Shiva. In the 18th and 19th century Bengal, Kali's portrayal became extremely personal and intimate. The Bengali poets expressed Prativatsalya Bhav, a childlike love for her. They considered her not just as a fierce goddess but as their own mother. The image of Kali in their poems also reflected the lives of local people, farmers in debt, women navigating the hardships of marriage, and community coming together to celebrate annual festivals. So Kali was not just a distant cosmic force, but became someone who could understand the challenges of everyday human life. There are three very famous forms of Goddess Kali. First one is Dakshina Kali, the benevolent mother. She is about protecting, guiding, and helping her devotees overcome their fear and ignorance. One of her most famous devotees was Ramakrishna Paramhansa, who worshipped her at the Dakshineshwar Kali temple in Bengal. The next one is Shmashana Kali, the really wild form of Kali, who lives on cremation ground. She is raw and untamed, surrounded by ashes and fire, reminding us of the reality of death and the impermanence of life. Tantric practitioners worship this form of the goddess. Then there's Mahakali, the grand and cosmic form of Kali. She is often depicted with 10 faces and 10 arms, representing her control over time, space, and everything in between. Philosophers like Sri Aurobindo worshipped Mahakali as a force urging humanity to evolve spiritually. Whether she is loving mystics like Ramakrishna, or guiding tantric practitioners, or inspiring philosophers like Aurobindo, She has something to offer to everyone. As you could see, these various forms of Kali have many symbols in common, and their exact meaning could differ depending on the context, but let's look at them broadly in this video. The first symbol is her black skin. Kali or Shama, her other name, means dark. Darkness or blackness represents the infinite void from which all creation arises and into which it absorbs. It is the color of timelessness, the color of the void before Big Bang, a state of infinite potential where time, space and matter had not yet emerged. Just as the universe exploded into existence from that void, Kali's black form symbolizes this universal womb out of which everything emerges and to which everything returns. As a compassionate mother, her blackness highlights her ability to absorb all the negativities in your life. Her sharp blackness also represents her ability to strip away all your illusions without any partiality and reducing everything to its essence. The second symbol is her outstretched tongue. It's so bold, right? What does it actually mean? It represents her insatiable hunger. This hunger isn't for food. It is for justice, for liberation, and for removal of all the negativity and illusions. In Devi Mahatmyam, in the story of Rakta Bija, her tongue is literally catching the blood of this Asura so that he cannot regenerate. And in this way, she is helping the gods with her ability to cut the evil at its source. She has no tolerance for it. There's an element of defiance in her gesture. Her tongue, cold and unapologetic, challenges norms and expectations. She's not here to conform to what everyone thinks a goddess should be and look like. The next symbol is her garland of skulls, the Mundamala. The 51 skulls in her garland are the 51 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, which are considered to be the building blocks of creation. It's saying she holds the essence of all speech, sound, and expression. The skull also reminds us of impermanence. Every skull was at one point surrounded with flesh, and there was a person who claimed it as their own, who built a life around their body and their ego, but is now gone. The next symbol is that she is standing on top of Lord Shiva. This reflects an interplay between Shakti, energy, and Shiva, the pure consciousness. In Devi Mahatmyam, Kali becomes so consumed in her destructive dance during the battle that she nearly destroys the universe. To stop her, Shiva lies down beneath her. When Kali steps on Shiva, it's as if Shakti sees herself clearly reflected in the stillness of pure consciousness. Shiva's stillness represents deep meditation, the state of yoga, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, a state where the mind becomes so calm that it mirrors everything. So he lies inert like a corpse, embodying absolute stillness, while Kali is full of movement and power, symbolizing the dynamic, transformative energy of life. This interaction highlights the union of opposites. The next symbol is her naked form. Her nakedness symbolizes authenticity, to see and be seen as we truly are. It reminds us to accept our raw, unfiltered essence. The next symbol is the cremation ground setting. Cremation ground is a paradoxical space which we avoid visiting during our lifetime, but it's inevitable that all of us will go there after we die. It represents the ultimate confrontation with impermanence, the end of everything that we know, the dissolution of our ego. Because if we face it right here, right now, then we won't spend our whole life living in anxiety and fear of death. The last symbol is her wild hair. Kali's wild hair reflects the raw, untamed feminine power that is often repressed or underestimated in society. Her uncombed and free hair embody her unapologetically fierce and independent spirit. Now I am going to look at Goddess Kali from the lens of Shakta poets. Shakta tradition is a goddess-centric tradition in India. They worship various goddesses but believe that all of them are manifestations of the same supreme goddess Shakti. What makes these poems so special is that these poets acknowledge the goddess as a cosmic power but speak to her as if she is their mother, protector and guide, and she's someone they can turn to in their darkest moments. So here's a poem by Ram Prasad Sen, a famous devotee of Goddess Kali. Who can understand Kali? You can't get her vision through the 6 philosophies. She plays with Shiva, 2 swans, amorous, amidst lush lotuses. Ascetics ponder her, from Mooladhara to Sahasrara. Like Om, the root of all, Kali is the self, of one who delights in the self, just for fun. She dwells in body after body, encasing our universe in her belly. Can you imagine measuring that? The destructive Lord has grasped her core. But who else can? Prasad says, people laugh at me, trying to swim across the sea. My heart knows, but my mind does not. And so, though a dwarf, I try to catch the moon. The line, who can truly understand Kali, reflects that Kali cannot be understood through the traditional systems of thought. The 6 philosophies or Shad Darshans of India, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Samkhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, and Vedanta. Kali transcends even meditative and ritual practices, giving only a glance through them sometimes. She reveals herself through direct experience, and only pure consciousness or Shiva can fully grasp her. Their inseparable cosmic union is described as 2 swans amidst lush lotuses. Ram Prasad highlights Kali's playful nature when he says, one who delights in the self just for fun. She dwells in body after body because she is the energy that gives life to anything that becomes alive in the universe. She's taking these different forms, so she transcends individuality and ego. While the forms keep changing, the energy beneath them is the same indestructible Shakti. That's why she's imagined as encasing the entire universe in her belly. Her presence, body after body, also reflects that she's willing to take different forms for her devotees, to protect them, guide them, and challenge them. She meets her devotees wherever they are. There's one line that says that her essence is the root of all, like the sacred syllable Om. Om is considered to contain all sounds of the universe because it is the primordial sound and the essence of all the vibration in the universe. It's traditionally broken down into 3 phonetic parts, A, U, and M, along with a silent 4th part. A represents the beginning, creation, U represents the sustenance, preservation, and M represents the end, destruction. The silence after Om symbolizes transcendence, what is beyond time, space, and form. Together, they form all possible states of existence, the entire reality, Brahman. Similarly, Kali is the embodiment of Shakti, the cosmic energy that drives all possible states, manifests, and transforms them. The line, my heart knows, but my mind does not. And so, though a dwarf, I try to catch the moon. Here, Ram Prasad expresses the universal struggle of a devotee. The heart can feel Kali's presence and infinite nature, but the rational mind struggles to comprehend it. There's another poem by Ram Prasad which is a Ninda Stuti. What's the fault of the poor mind? Shyama, you are the magician's daughter. It dances as you make it dance. You are action, virtue and vice. I figured out your secret. Ma, You are earth, you are water. You make fruit ripen on the tree. You are power, you are devotion. You are even liberation, says Shiva. You are suffering, you are happiness. So it's written in the Chandi. Prasad says, the thread of attachment is spun by action's wheel. Crazy Kali and crazy Shiva bind souls with it and make them play. In this poem, Ram Prasad is complaining to the mother that what's the fault of the poor mind? It dances as you make it dance. There is an understanding in this line that all human experiences, be it joy or suffering, are orchestrated by the will of Kali. Ram Prasad's tone is sarcastic, but it's devotional. And this is the hallmark of Ninda Stuti, where the devotee feels such a personal connection to the divine that it treats the divine as a family member, as a beloved or a friend. And they can complain to them, they can tease them, but they are assured that it will be understood as an expression of love. The underlying message is humility, because if Kali can bind us, she is the only one that can free us. The poem ends with a striking line. Crazy Kali, crazy Shiva, bind souls to it and make them play. Here life is depicted as a cosmic drama, Leela, and Shiva and Shakti make us participate in it, and we are playing it. The craziness reflects their boundless, inexplicable actions, which transcend human logic. The next poem is by Kamalakanta Bhattacharya, who says, "From now on, don't deprive me anymore, Tara. Look, the danger of death is near. What you've done to me was appropriate. I endured it. But now I must think, what is the recourse for a wretched man? Death is not conquered, but I am not afraid. I only worry lest I forget your name at my going." Even though Kamalakanta is in pain, he will smile. Otherwise, people will say, "You haven't given me any happiness, Shyama." Kali is referred to as Tara. Both represent complementary aspects of the same divine feminine energy. From now on, don't deprive me anymore, Tara. This opening line is a direct and humble request to the divine. The devotee is suffering, but has faith that the divine will intervene. Kamalakanta boldly declares, "Death is not conquered, but I am not afraid." This reflects the strength of a spiritual devotee who has surrendered to the divine. Because of this strength, they are not afraid of dying, but they are just afraid of forgetting about the divine presence in their life, because that is the thread that will take them across. This poem shows that even in the darkest and hardest times, remembering the divine can give us immense strength. The whole expression also shows the human need to be seen and to be loved by the divine. And here's the last poem I am reading out today. This time I've realized the essence. I learned meditation from an adept. I found someone from a country where there's no night. And now, what good is morning? What good is evening? Twilight is barren for me. I've shaken off sleep. Will I go back to it? Age after age, I am awake. Now I've returned sleep to its maker and lulled sleep to sleep. With a mixture of borax and sulfur, I rub gold to make it shine. In the same way, I hope one day to polish my temple of jewels. Prasad says, I've held devotion and liberation equally high in my esteem. Now that I know Shyama's name to be Brahman, I've stopped worrying about religion and ritual. In this poem, Ram Prasad credits meditation, which he's learned from a true master. With the help of this meditation, he's gone beyond the dualities of day and night, morning and evening. They hold no meaning for him. He's gone beyond time and attachment. the imagery of shaking off sleep reflects spiritual awakening. Sleep here is not that 8 hours of sleep that we all need, but sleep as in ignorance that Ram Prasad has permanently overcome with his practices. Ram Prasad balances between bhakti, devotion, and moksha, liberation. For him, both the paths are equal. One does not need to choose between the love for their goddess and the desire for liberation. Both are intertwined. The metaphor of polishing gold with borax and sulfur reflects Ram Prasad's inner spiritual work. Temple of Jewels is the self, and the act of polishing it symbolizes the act of refining one's being through meditation and devotion. While some poets favor bhakti, others prioritize meditation, and some explore Tantra, Ram Prasad generally suggests that there is no single path that is supreme. Instead, the essence lies in recognizing Kali as the ultimate truth, Brahman, and transcending external rituals. He has moved past the need for rituals. Kali's energy has been understood differently by her different devotees. Take Ramakrishna Paramhans for example, her famous dualist devotee. He considered her as an external mother who he could speak to, surrender to, pray to, and even tease in his devotion. On the other hand, there were philosophers like Adi Shankaracharya who had a non-dualistic perspective. So he considered Kali as the ultimate reality, Brahman, not separate from himself or the universe. Swami Vivekananda believed that the Absolute is both immanent, that is present in the universe and is accessible. At the same time, it's transcendent, that it's beyond all forms and limitations. So as I said earlier, she meets her devotees wherever they are. Goddess Kali's energy is extremely powerful. There's no doubt about it. But it's not something that we approach lightly. Think about it. She's the goddess of destruction and transformation. She can destroy our illusions and strip away parts of our identity that may not be serving us, but we are too attached to lose them. This kind of transformation can be really overwhelming if we are not ready for it. Remember the story of Raktabija? Her energy saved the universe, but then it spiraled so out of control that it was about to destroy the universe. That's when Shiva had to humbly offer himself in order to ground her. That's the key. If you invite her energy, be humble and be prepared to receive the guidance. Thank you for joining me in this exploration. Please support my work by subscribing to my channel, and if you found this video valuable, please give it a like and share it with your friends and family members.